And we're starting off with a big yawn today, obviously.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Wowie, wowie.
It's yowie wowie. Get it right.
Okay.
And for
Yowie,
those
wowie.
who are in the know, the shirt I have on, yes, it is of the greatest wrestler of our time, ? From NWA Power.
Question mark.
Yes.
Karate.
It's karate.
Oh, goodness. Gotta love that.
He's had 2 matches and he's more over than Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad, but you gotta love it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they don't have anybody else's shirt on their site, but they have his. That's how over this character is already.
That's fun.
So today we're going to be talking about manifesting your destiny. And no, this is not New Age. Mumbo jumbo. This comes from the word itself and the man himself. The anointed.
Imagine that.
Love.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Johnny Walker, and I am here with Joshua David, as per usual, in case you didn't know. And we are Last Awakening Warriors.
We are the Last Awakening Warriors. And I am your host, Joshua David. And I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny, a.k.a. Walkman Walker.
A.k.a. Mordecai. Thank you.
A.k.a. he still wants to be and star in Children of the Corn, but hey.
We just lost 5 more Christians.
I don't know the way they act. They act like those people coming out the corn. Anyway. Anyway, it is time. It is time. It is time. As always.
Unlocking secrets of the universe.
Welcome to the Last Awakening Podcast.
The Last Awakening Podcast.
Oh, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost it all. Oh no, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost control.
Welcome to the Awakening.
Should we start out by saying we have this many bazillion hours of study in the Word, and that we nobody does what we do right here. This is the only place to find what we're talking about right here. No, we don't have to say that.
No, but I do believe we do have our own take on the things that we show here.
And everybody should, right? Everybody should.
Oh yeah, well, everybody's walking their own path.
That's right.
Unlike the church, they all want everybody to walk the same path. Here in the true kingdom, you have your own kingdom, which you rule, and you have your own path and your own kingdom, and you build it the way you see fit.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to be talking about today, about manifesting your kingdom and your reality.
Your destiny.
Your destiny. Yes. Kind of a big thing. The church will say this is mumbo jumbo new age crap. Well, that's because the church doesn't want you ever getting out of the place where you don't need them. So you're going to be constantly running to them to pay, like I said earlier, your taxes, your tithes, so that you can get a little bit of crumbs that they feed you while the people at the top are making more money than they ever should.
Yeah. Well, they're standing up there like we're
Gold
listening
buildings,
to the song.
gold buildings, gold walled buildings.
Yep.
But the people in the pews are suffering. This is not the work of the Father of Jesus, not in the slightest. This is the work of the devil himself.
You got people in the pews that can't even afford to go buy their Sunday's best to wear to the church to fit in and look like everybody else. It's crazy. They're standing up there like that song we were listening to before when it mentioned all the bright lights that shine blind them.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how, used to put preachers and all these religious high profile people on pedestals, and looking at them, it blinded me from truth. It's crazy that they were the bright lights that blinded me. And it's why you can't look at man. You can't follow man, the doctrines of men. Jesus told the Pharisees that you'd rather follow the doctrines of men. You can't do it. If listen, organized religion, man, I was thinking about this earlier today. If you follow organized religion, you are following the doctrine of men. Straight, period, end of story. In churches today, every church is part of a denomination, and they have a doctrinal belief system.
Yes.
Even if the church is a standalone church that started their own denomination, they still have a doctrinal belief. They have a mission statement. They have what they're directing all their people and their flock to. This is how you should believe. And they'll preach that. If you are part of listening to organized religion, you are listen, it's of their father, the devil, because it's the doctrine of men.
Yeah.
Period. I come to that conclusion today wholeheartedly, dude.
I agree.
I mean, we've been talking about it, but today it struck me definitively. If you are part of organized religion, you are following your father, and Christ called him, love called him the devil.
Yeah. Because it's keeping you enslaved to them.
To laws and rules.
You're not supposed to be enslaved to anyone or anything.
No.
You're supposed to be ruling your own kingdom.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I don't know. I just thought I had to shoot straight from the hip there, man.
No.
Because it's in me. It was coming out of me today.
You know, I told you yesterday what I thought about everything. So.
Sure. And it just came out to me, and with a frustration, right? Love was frustrated. It wasn't angry, because there ain't no anger in love. I don't care if you think you're in the hands of an angry God. Bullcrap.
If they want to be in the hands of, they'll have it. But no, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. The fake Yahweh, he is an angry God. And if you want him to be your God, absolutely. I was told today by somebody, you don't think I know the Lord, but I know the Lord. I know my God. And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you absolutely do. And I ain't saying you don't. I ain't never said you don't know your Lord. He is absolutely who you made him to be.
Yep.
I'm saying he ain't mine. Right? And that's where the frustration of the church comes, is he ain't mine. Listen, I know who the Father in me is. I know who my Father is. He's love.
Yeah, I have a portion of the Father in me.
Yeah. Yeah. And they get mad, just like we were reading about Paul. He was talking to the Galatians. He was saying that he's scared for them.
Yeah.
That he's fearful for them.
He's fearful for them. Well,
because
why, Paul? Why are you fearful?
Yeah.
Well, that's not of love. That's
why.
not of the Father of Jesus. That's of the devil.
Tell why. He's fearful for them because his teachings he feels like has gone in vain.
Yeah.
That's
poor Paul.
problem.
My teachings are in vain.
Falling on deaf
But when I
ears,
first
poor
came to
Paul.
you, you accepted me like I was God and like I was Jesus.
Like I was Jesus.
Oh, imagine
himself.
that. They accepted him like he was a God.
Yeah. It was all good when they were like praising him and putting
And
him
bowing
into the
down to him. He loved that.
setting him at the
You won't
the
you
head
won't hear
seat
that
at
in the
table.
church. You won't hear people talk about that verse in the church. You won't
Nah.
you won't hear the church talk about how, he said he had the literal marks of Jesus on his body.
Yeah, he bore the marks of Jesus
Yep,
on
he
his
had-
own body.
He had the marks in his hands. He had the
Mhm.
crown of thorns. He had the spear in the side. He had the same marks Jesus did.
we
Now
ain't
you
making
go
this
think
up.
of that and why the reason is Paul was walking around to all the Gentiles with those marks and why he started churches. Go think on that yourself
Mhm.
and find out what that means.
And how he always pointed himself to being so much like Christ.
Well, in one of the books, he even says that he was the replacement he carried on the work that Christ couldn't do. That Jesus
Yeah.
couldn't do himself. He had to come and carry it
fulfill.
on because he was on that special mission from Yahweh, right?
Carry on the
Jesus
works that
wasn't
Christ
enough
did
for
fulfill.
us in dying on the cross. We had to have Paul to come and explain everything for us, right?
Yep. I heard that today too. You always knock on Paul, blah blah blah.
Because he was a
You wanna tear
liar.
him down. Well, if it wasn't for Paul, us Gentiles would have never got to have Yahweh. Well, thanks a lot, Paul, for the prison.
Yeah. Thanks for putting us back 2,000 years before Jesus came or 3,000 years before Jesus came, and we're under Yahweh and we're all cursed and
Yeah.
going to hell. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, I get to be under the law now. Thanks a lot, guy. Christ had to come. Love had to come to show me that I was free, and you go on out afterwards and try to put me in prison.
Yeah, that was Paul's whole purpose, was to put everybody under the same prison that the Israelites were under Yahweh. To the
I'm sitting here,
whole world.
I'm sitting here in my front room yelling, and there's people asleep in this whole building. I swear. No, I don't swear because I don't take oaths. But I'm telling you. This is Paul going to get me aggravated. This ain't even what this is about. I don't know what we're doing.
No, it's not. Well, we're going to get
All
into
right.
it.
Chill down. All right. I've had a great night tonight already, buddy. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to testify real quick before we get started.
Oh, here's another 20-minute dissertation.
No, you listen. This is good. This is good for people.
Here it comes,
Me and
everybody.
Josh-
Guys, calm down. It's going to be a little bit. We'll get into what we're supposed to.
This is, put your seatbelts on, relax, get a drink. Get a drink. There you go. Favorite apple juice. All right. So me and Josh were talking about how you ain't got to go out and snatch people up and drag them to your place and beat them with the Bible when they didn't want to hear it in the first place. The Father will bring to you the people that you need to speak to.
Yep, and in the time that you need to speak to them.
And this means the time you speak to them. I got to have a young lady here. I'm not going to share names or anything like that, but she's going through a time, right? She's contemplating things that are real serious in this life. Contemplating. We know what I'm talking about. And
Well, I would just say
got-
I would just say this about this.
mhm.
The thing that she's wanting to do, or feels that there's something around her wanting her to do that.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say it's not true, because the reality it is, but it's not the physical life that she should be looking to end.
Right. Right.
It's the soul of her that longs for other people to fulfill
Accept
her
her.
acceptance. Yeah.
Mhm.
When the only person that can do that is the love that's inside of her.
And that's what I got to share tonight, dude.
Yeah.
Got to share that. And I talked to Josh afterwards. It was really good. But we were talking about the transference of the spirit of love.
Mhm.
She was open to hearing about love because that's what she's craving.
Oh
she
yeah.
was
I mean,
open
that's
to
what the
even-
world wants. Everybody wants somebody to love them.
Yeah. So she was open to receiving.
Yep.
And that transference, dude, I'm telling you what, from a conversation, I felt weak. I was thirsty. I drank literally half a gallon of liquid. I'm not even kidding you. I was so thirsty afterwards.
Mhm.
because of the transfer. I deposited love into her. So we talk about casting your pearls before swine, people that ain't wanting to hear it, right? They're just going to trample that under feet. This was somebody that was open to those pearls of love, right? This was somebody that's open to it, and it was transferred, and it was beautiful. So that's my testimony. I ain't going to take no more time, but I just want to share with people. And now,
No, I'm glad we're talking about this
Here we
because
go.
this reminds me of something else. When somebody's at that weak point, this is what you want to give them. You don't want to give them
Yeah.
Jesus. You don't want to give them the church narrative nonsense. You don't want to give
No.
them salvation. This is not what they're looking for. They're looking
No.
for truth, and they're looking for love. And only somebody with truth and love can deposit into you those things which you need that are going to awaken the love that's inside of you.
Yeah. Well, we even talked about, I mentioned how when I was speaking the church narrative to people, the way I was brought up in the Pentecostal church being taught, I never felt that release. When I was talking to people that were in need of love and I would speak to them the church narrative, I didn't feel that release. And you know what that tells me? They didn't receive anything.
No,
I never
how
felt
can they
anything released
how
from me.
can they receive the waters of life when you're not speaking the truth?
Exactly.
It's impossible. It's impossible
just
for them
like
to do
when-
so.
When the lady was seeking a healing, and she knew if I could just touch the hem of his garment, and what he say? Listen, who was that? I felt somebody because I felt it leave me,
Yeah.
right? So if we don't feel a release when we're speaking to people, either they're not listening, they're not open to listen, or you ain't speaking truth. And for the most case, if you're speaking in the church narrative, you're not speaking truth. They're not going to get anything.
No, because their whole point is to get you to go to church and pay tithes.
Mhm.
That's the whole purpose of the church, is to get people into the building to pay money. That's it.
They need heads. They need the heads they can count.
And I'm not even
'Cause
talking
that's
about
what
the pastors. I'm talking about the people in the church. That's all they want to give you.
Mhm.
And then the
Yeah.
church wants to give you this spirit that they want to put inside of you that keeps you coming back to them. That's all that spirit does. It gets
Yeah.
weak when it's away from the church, and it draws you back to the church. That's all that spirit does.
I'm gonna tell you what.
And you're
I'm
supposed to
sick of
have
it.
the living waters within you that you're supposed to be depositing into other people.
Yeah.
How can you do that when you always got to run back to the church? You're already supposed to have the living waters inside of you. You're already
They
supposed to
never
be
end.
pouring into other people.
Yep. And let me tell you something. Living life and living more abundantly. How can you live from abundance if you're dry? Why do I got to hear every Christian ever in life saying, "Man, I ain't got to church in a couple services. I need to go back to the fueling station." It ain't a fueling station; it's a indoctrination station. And that's all you're getting is indoctrination.
That's the only place, because that's where the ritual was first manifested. That's the only place that spirit gets its presence back. It gets refueled within that service. And that's why when you leave, it leaves you.
Dude, I'm gonna ask you right here. Do you need to go any dang where to feel full?
No.
Because I feel like I'm gonna bust out everywhere all the time. There's so much wanting to come up out of me.
And this is what I talked to you the other day about, the guy that I talked to at work. I don't know if I talked about that on the thing or no, I didn't. So there's a guy at work. I was talking to him, and I started telling him some things about truth and the real truth that we share here. And constantly, like over the next 30 minutes or so, he's holding like the sides of his head, like with his hands out, and saying, "Man, it's just so much. It's just so much."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what overflows you when you give and deposit truths into somebody, and their brain is expanding and can't contain the truth that you're giving, and that overflows them. That is being filled with the Spirit. That is that manifestation in reality, not the nonsense the church tells you.
Yeah. I've heard people say, Christians say.
How many times have you talked to somebody, John, and it gets to the point to, their mind is about to just snap.
Dude,
because there's so much truth that, you have to shut yourself down sometimes.
Well, sometimes they shut me down.
Yeah, that
But
too.
they're
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
"Listen,
Like,
it's too much. It's too much. I
Yeah.
can't handle all of it." Because they start coming to grips with the fact that they're hearing all this truth, and they're hearing, and they know it's love
and
'cause
their
it's
body and
resonating
their
in them.
mind and their understanding can't contain it. It's so
Mm-hmm.
massive.
Yep. I've heard all the time, we can't contain the full love of the Father. Not this physical body. You got to be in the spirit.
Oh yeah,
This physical
yeah.
body can't contain it. It can't.
And
You hurt
and,
yourself.
and how many times over the first few months, and even here recently, did you have to? Was our minds just getting like exploded? Like
Yeah. Like,
every
boom.
every other day.
And it
Sometimes
takes a
even
couple
multiple days. Yeah,
And take a couple days to deal with it.
yeah.
Well, at first, boy, it was bad. We start running into truth, and we're just like, I don't even know if I can get down with that. Like, I don't even know if I can handle it.
Yeah, because the mind in its state it can't handle it.
Well, we contemplate and talked about with each other. Should we talk about this on the video? Or should we even talk? People will freak out. Freak out.
Well, there's a lot of stuff we haven't talked about on this on
Sure.
here. There's some things that we've mentioned in passing on here.
Mhm.
And there's like the thing at the beginning I was telling people, like, you go find out what that means.
Yep.
Like,
You'll
I'm
find out what that
going to
means.
tell you, like some things Paul said. You
Mhm.
go find out and search out what that means.
Yeah, you
I
go
mean, I
find
know
out
what it
why he
means.
says that.
I know
Yeah.
exactly what it means.
Yeah, why he has to have the actual marks of Jesus on
Yep.
his body, physical body, on his physical body.
Why do you think he told the Galatians and some of the other groups of churches that they saw Jesus crucified? Oh, let's talk about that in the comments below. How did these people who were already dead, and it's already been 30 years when Paul started writing, how did they see Jesus crucified? Go write about that. And why did Paul have the marks of Jesus on his body? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what kind of resurrection and coming down off the cross or whatever. What did they actually see, and who was it actually?
Oh, talk about it. We ain't gonna tell you what we said there. Go find for yourself. You got the love of the Father in you. You got to seek out your own salvation. Work it out with fear and trembling. Go ahead. I don't think you have to be with no fear. That's of Satan. But you got to work out your own salvation.
The church will
Work it
just
out.
say, "Well, Paul was just using hyperbole and blah blah blah." No, he wasn't. He was dead serious with everything he said.
He said it was on his body.
And telling them that they saw the Christ crucified.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "We saw."
Yeah.
You go find out what that means for you. I know what it means for me.
Well, I sat with them at the table, and they treated me like I was Christ Jesus himself.
Yeah, they accepted me as though I was Christ himself.
Why was that? Did he look like him?
And let's just imagine, Revelation, where it talks about the Antichrist and, he had a deadly head wound. Like, he had thorns on his head, and yet he lives.
Yeah. Oh. And we can tell you what to believe. We know what the Spirit tells us. What's speaking to us. You believe what the Father tells you. We say it every single time. Don't believe nothing we say because we say it. Find out what you believe.
Yep. Find out what's true. Find out what's true in your kingdom.
Master your own ascension. Find the Father in you. Find love in you. Because that's the only thing you should be following. Not no doctrine of man, that's for sure. Because that's of the Father, your father, the devil.
So let's get talking about manifesting your destiny and what that actually is.
Yeah.
Well, how do people in this life now manifest things in their life.
They go to school for it.
It doesn't start in school. It starts in their mind. It starts in their heart.
Sure.
It's things that they feel that they're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
They think about how they can accomplish those things.
Mm-hmm.
They believe they can accomplish those things.
Right.
And they start pursuing those things actively in their life.
Absolutely.
So what does the Bible say about these things?
Let's bring it.
Okay, here we go. John 14:12, and there's going to be a couple of verses, I believe, on a lot of these in a row. Truly, verily, truly, I tell you, whoever believes in me will do the works I have been doing, and they will do even greater things than these, because I am going to the Father. Verse 13, and I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son.
Yep.
You may ask me for anything in my name, and I will do it.
So break it down. Because a lot of people are
Whose
saying,
name are
Satan.
you asking these things in? Because there's a
Well,
lot of people who go around asking in the name of Jesus, and there's a lot not being done.
Well, considering he was talking from the Father, his Father, from love within him,
Yep.
he's saying if you ask in the name of his Father, or in your case, in the name of your Father, which is
In the name
love.
of my Father. Yes, love. Yep.
Yep. So if I ask for something,
If you ain't
I'm
if you ain't in the kingdom, you're gonna have a hard time manifesting things, because you're gonna be dealing with the duality of the love and the soul, or what Jesus calls the soul.
You're taught to ask in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
So in a name of somebody, a name that never existed,
Never existed.
a name that
Was
it
made
wasn't
up.
his name. It's a
Nope.
made up name. So how is there power in a
And
name
no,
that
we're not
never
saying
existed?
that the man never existed. We're saying that the Jesuit priest of the Catholic Church made it up.
The name.
Yeah.
Yes. And they act like there's nothing to that. Like you're crazy for bringing it up. You're praying in the name that never belonged to anybody.
Yeah, it
They
belongs
put
to
that name
something,
on him.
but
Well, yeah, an entity, most
Yeah.
likely demonic that you're asking in your heart.
yep.
Yeah, dangerous. We have a video on that. The last one or the one before that. But they put that name on him.
Yep.
So that's not what he was talking about. He wasn't saying in the name of Jesus, or in whatever name he actually had back then.
He was
That
talking
his
about the
person
spirit that was
had,
inside of him that was speaking, which
was his Father.
which was his Father, his portion of love.
Absolutely.
What do you mean? You mean our measure of faith? No, not your measure of persuasion. No.
No.
No, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the love inside of you. That love has the power to manifest things in reality.
Yeah.
And this is what we see Jesus doing all over. He was manifesting a reality here in this realm that we're in. And that reality was he was teaching people that they did not need any religion. All they needed was already inside of them.
That's why he was sent to the Jews. He was sent to them because they were following the religion of Yahweh, the one that calls himself Yahweh in the Old Testament.
Yep.
All the laws. He come to destroy the religion, to do away with the laws, to show you that the Father,
yes,
that love,
and they were
you.
the sinners. They were the ones who were doing what was wrong.
Not the Gentiles that Paul comes and says, "Oh, I'm going to free you.
Right?
We were already fine."
Jesus only came to who? The Jews, the Israelites.
Yes.
He never came for the people because the Israelites had it all wrong.
Yep. He didn't come for the saved. He came for the lost. Anyway. So we ask in the name of love.
Yeah, we ask him to name love.
That's right. And what will happen? Your Father will do whatever it is you ask. Whatever.
Yep.
Yep. So that's a really good word. It's a really good word.
I agree. Now we're going to get in. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying, for being so tired, I feel very animated tonight. And that's love, man. That's love. It's been coming out all night. What's the next scripture?
Oh, and just to let everybody know, the name that you have in love, well, I'll just say that people's names in the Bible were changed, and that's because the love sprung up within them.
Yeah.
This happens to you as well. Now, I'm not going to say what those names are, but that does happen to you, and that's the name I would say that you would have to speak in to manifest those realities.
Yeah.
Because love, your portion of love, has a name. So we're going to go over to the next verse now.
Mm-hmm.
We're in John 4, 36. Even now, let's see. Okay. Even now, the one who reaps draws a wage and harvests a crop for eternal life, so that the sower and reaper may be glad together. Verse 37. Thus the saying, one sows and another reaps, is true. I sent you to reap what you have not worked for. Others have done the hard work, and you have reaped the benefits of their labor. So there's not even any work to do.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to reap what's already there.
Love's already did all the work.
Love has already done all the work.
That's right.
All you have to do is reap from the love. And,
Mhm.
and this is why he says, whatever you ask, it will be done.
That's right.
It's the work is already done. All you're doing is manifesting it.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking for it. You're
bringing it in this reality.
you're bringing it in from a spiritual reality to a physical reality.
On earth as it is in heaven, in the kingdom within
Yes.
you, right?
Yes.
So you're saying
From within
when
you to without
Mhm.
you. And you
Yep.
do that, the manifestation, because what you speak out of your mouth is spirit.
yeah,
It manifests the reality that you're speaking. Like the person
Just
who
like-
constantly complains that they're
Mhm.
sick all the time.
yeah,
What are they going to be all the time? Sick.
sick. That's right.
This is why when you come
That's
into
right.
love and you start speaking love constantly, man, I'm telling you, every day I lay my head on a pillow and
Yeah.
close my eyes, I have a smile on my face.
Yeah, you said that. That's neat, man.
And I
I'm gonna
love
tell
it,
you what.
man. Like you
Yeah.
don't know the enjoyment that I have in life.
Well, especially
And
if
here's
you
the
gotta
crazy
know
thing,
Josh.
right? Here's the crazy thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
My job hasn't changed.
Yep.
Where I live, my house, my income, my family, nothing's changed. But what's
No.
in me has changed.
Well, the realization of who
And
you are has changed.
yeah, and now
Mm-hmm.
that is going to start creating the new reality. It starts within you to the
Mm-hmm.
outward.
I'm gonna tell you this little other testimony, dude. No running to the bathroom today, bro. None. Not a once. Not a once.
Well, that's definitely good.
Yeah. Josh knows what I'm talking about. I had a couple weeks of some major issue, man. This body. Whew. And I almost start getting concerned. Right?
Dude, I would have been
I'm being-
concerned a few weeks ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about like I was living in there, and I feel like I'm being attacked. This is an attack. But the other day after the video we did 2 videos ago, I just said, man, you know what? I was like, that's it. We started talking a little bit about manifesting things there. Me and Josh talked about we need to decide what we're going to manifest. What is our heart? What is love telling us
Mm-hmm.
we should go for, shoot for?
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Because what we shoot for, we can achieve. We will
Everything.
grasp and get to everything we shoot for. Right? Because if we ask in love, we'll get there. We'll receive it. And we started talking about that after the video. And you know what? That night when I went to bed, I was like, that's it. I'm done with this physical goofiness. So like, buddy, you got to line up with love, right?
Yes.
The next day, I only had to go one time. Today, not a once. Not
I
a
don't
once.
know about that, but that's not good
Listen.
for you.
Hey, listen, maybe you're supposed to go every day, but I think
no. Once you
I put my time in. I
well,
put my time in.
no. Once you actually start eating again, it's going to be about a day and a
Yeah.
half, 2 days before
Yeah,
your body starts getting back to regular.
but listen,
So
all praise to love right there to my father, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. But I agree with you. The things in my surroundings, we're 8 months into truth, right? Almost 9 months
Almost
now.
9 now.
The things are starting to change.
Oh, I
Right.
know.
We're already getting the persecution for it, for sure. But the good things are starting to happen. I'm telling you, you start having people brought to you that are hitting a hard time.
Yeah, it's like I
'Cause-
told you a few days ago. One of the guys that watches, I told him to come and watch some of our videos.
Yeah.
Came up and told me the other day when he was leaving work. He's like, "It's a great podcast. I love it."
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and
And
I'm
that
glad to
feels
hear.
good.
I'm glad to hear that
That
you
feels
know
good.
that someone is
Yeah.
receiving something out of what the Father shows us.
Yeah. And I know people are, you know why I know people are receiving and are going to receive, because when I'm done with the podcast, dude, I feel the release. So
Yeah,
whether
I sleep
somebody
like a
is
baby
doing
after
right
we
then,
get done.
sure, sure, I feel the release. So I know,
Yeah.
even if somebody ain't listening live, I know love has a plan for somebody to get something from the words we're speaking, because they are spirit. And
Oh
they
yeah,
are truth.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why we do this. We know that this ain't falling on deaf ears. If you have the ears to hear and eyes to see, you're going to see. You're going to
Yep.
see that this is truth being spoken. We have no doubt. If we did, well, we'd be doing it, right?
Right.
So what's the next on the script sheet, bro?
I don't think that's the next one. Hold on. There we go. It's going to be John 5:19.
Right
I'm
on.
not sure if there's a couple verses on this one or not. I don't remember.
John's good, though, man. John is so good.
Yeah. Yep.
So much good in John.
He's okay. Jesus gave them this answer. Verily, truly, I tell you, the Son can do nothing by himself. He can only do what he sees his Father doing, because whatever the Father does, the Son does also.
That's right. Only can do what love does. And the Son here is you.
Yes, the Son is you,
Not Jesus.
right there.
Yeah.
That person right here in that camera, that's you. You are the Son.
Yep.
Or daughter. It's you.
Mhm. And in love, you can only do what the Father of love within you tells you to. What love does.
Yep. For the Father loves the Son and shows him all he does.
Yep.
So, who shows you how to do things?
Love.
I'll
Your
wait.
Father. Mhm.
Not the church.
Nope.
Not a preacher. Not a pastor. Not your mommy. Not your daddy. Not your Grammy, grandpa. Not your doctor. Not your teachers.
The doctrine.
Not somebody's belief in a doctrine that isn't even biblical. No, your Father that loves you shows you all he does. Love within you will show you all the things you need to do.
It's written.
You need
in your
no
heart.
man to tell you. Don't need us telling you what to do.
Absolutely.
Your own love will tell you what to do.
That's why your own love, if we say something and it resonates in your spirit, in your Father, your love that's within you, you can take it as truth. That's why we say never listen to what we say just because we say it. We're not preachers behind a pulpit telling you have to believe us.
No, I'm not your teacher. I'm not your rabbi.
No.
I'm only showing you what I was shown from the love that's in me.
Yep.
You have love in you. You're supposed to be listening and doing as it tells you to do. This is what the love in us has showed us to do in this appointed time.
And these things, we agree on a lot on these, right? It's just because we received it. If Josh says something, I receive it as truth. It's my truth. And vice versa. If I say something and Josh is like, you know what? I feel that. That's good. That's his truth now.
Yeah.
And we see these things similar. Why? Because the Father is love and love is love. You're not going to see everything the same. Just depending on where you're at in your life.
There's things that we don't agree on.
Sure. Because we're different people and we're in different places in our lives.
But it's not like, oh, John's wrong. He's going to hell.
Yeah.
Huh? No. He's seeing something different. And usually when there's something that one of us believes is a major thing, we'll sit and hash it out.
I want to know if Josh says something that the Father said to him, that love said to him, and I'm not necessarily down with it. I haven't thought about this thing, the situation, or this thought.
Right.
Even if I don't feel it immediately, I want to know why love told him that.
Well, I mean,
want to know why
look, there's been stuff that love told you months ago, or love told me months ago, that now you are finally getting, and I'm finally getting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Because this is when I received that. This is when I had the pieces that I could put together to understand and to see what that was actually manifesting from within.
You eventually get to a point where that's what we say. If we say something and it doesn't resonate with you, just put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Because like today,
you might not have all the pieces to see that piece of the puzzle yet.
Exactly. And
or that portion of the puzzle.
Eventually, though, you'll run into a circumstance or a situation, or you just hear something, and it'll spark. It'll resonate, and all of a sudden you'll remember, like, okay, that's what this person was talking about. That's what Josh was talking about. That's what, and now I get it. Now I understood where he was coming from, but now it's part of me.
Yeah.
Now it's part of my
established
spirit.
in you.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about here. Don't believe nothing just because we say something.
No, you're
You
supposed to go
know
find
if
out what the
it's true.
Father in you is telling you.
Yeah, you
The
know if
love
it's
that's
true or
within
not.
you, you're supposed to be
Mhm.
listening to it.
Yeah. Nothing external. Nothing and no one external of you, the Father, your Father. Really
So
good, man.
the second part of the verse is yes, and he will show him even greater works than these, so that you will be amazed.
Wow.
Now, what are the greater works that it's talking about here?
hmm
The greater works is the transforming of you
hmm
in your mind, in your understanding, and you having confidence to do the manifestation yourself.
The man. Yep. The man.
You won't be believing on the works of Jesus because you'll be doing those works.
Yep. You'll be doing them.
You're not believing in someone else. You're believing in you, the love that's in
Mhm.
within you.
Your Father.
And that the work that the love will do within you and for others is greater works than the ones you were believing in.
Because those happened a long time ago. These will happen right now. You could manifest these things right now. And how amazing would that be? What does it say there? That you'll do greater works and they'll cause what?
Oh, and you'll be amazed,
Amazed. Will you not
astonished.
listen? So if I think about the stuff that Jesus did back in the day, well, they call him Jesus anyway, just for the sake of conversation, it's pretty amazing. But how much more amazing will it be if you manifest something in your life today?
Yeah, the love
That's-
within you manifesting things.
Yeah.
The love
Yeah.
in you transforming you and then others.
I'm going to tell you what, somebody drops dead and I walk over and I say, stand up. And they stand up, people are going to be amazed.
Yeah.
People will be amazed and they'll be like, I don't even know how they would react, but wouldn't that be wild? Wouldn't that be? But you have the power to do that.
Yeah, you do.
Why isn't everybody's like, why isn't the church seeing the miracles like in the Bible? Why isn't the church seeing the miracles like back in the old days? Oh, before religion
Because the
twisted
true
everything?
miracles aren't physical. The true miracles are spiritual. When you give somebody love and they wake up from their death that they've been in their whole life, and now they
Sure.
have something to live for.
Yep. Now they have truth. Now they know who they are.
That's calling
That's the
forth
truth.
Lazarus out of the grave
That's right.
because they're dead in their self and in their body.
Yep.
And the love is dead.
You know,
Calling
Dad
forth
mentioned-
that is the true miracle.
Dad mentioned something. He's saying, I know who the Lord is. I know who God is. He's like, if I didn't know the Lord, then how did I bring my mom back from the dead when she had died? She was dead on the couch. He was kneeling back down and he was in tears and he did not want her to go. And he said, I called her back. Yes, you did. I said, you just said it. You called her back. Your love called her back. And I'm not sure he gets it.
No, he don't,
It's
because
not
he
the
believes
faith in something
that's
outside of him.
Yahweh doing it.
Because listen, at a time of seriousness and no
If
religion,
Yahweh could do it, he wouldn't need prophets to manifest things in this reality.
Exactly. And his dad his mom just died. He's at a point where he don't give a crap about doctrines right there. You know what I mean? He ain't thinking about doctrines. He ain't thinking about the Bible college. He ain't thinking about his doctrines he has. All he was thinking is about, listen, I love my mother and I don't want her gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it was. So from love, whether he knew it or not, from the love in him, he called her back. It's wild, man. And they don't see it. They don't realize that in a moment of anguish, in a moment of all this loss and stuff,
Because
that
they
they're
don't
perceiving.
believe that they're the ones manifesting things. They don't believe they have any power. None.
Mhm. They're taught not to. They're taught not to believe it.
They sing about
They're
power. They don't
Mhm.
have none. They don't believe it. They
Mhm.
don't believe that stuff. They
No,
believe it's always assigned
the,
to one person. No, it's all
in the
of
name
us.
of Jesus. It's in the name of Jesus, and he's the only one with any power. Yep. He literally is the only one with any power. You have no power. It's only his power through you by inviting him in and calling upon his power.
Yep.
It's nothing to do with you. That's what they teach you. It's nothing. You're nothing in this equation.
You're nothing, right? You're nothing. You mean
You're
nothing.
in the equation.
You're nothing. Oh, really? Then why did Jesus come and save us if we were nothing?
Yeah.
Only Yahweh comes to save, and believe you're nothing.
Yep. You need a savior, and still you have no part in any of this equation.
All right, so the next verse is, for just as the Father raises the dead and gives them life.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Now, the Father that it's talking about here is not Yahweh.
Mm-mm.
Yahweh likes to kill everybody and not give life, but whatever. You know, the whole
Right.
world, he killed everybody but Noah, but okay. Whatever.
The flood. Yes. Go ahead.
The Father, love, raises the dead and gives them life. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Love within you will raise other people who are dead and give them life, love. Even so, the Son gives life to whom he pleases to give it.
So
Whoever
you get to
you decide to
decide?
give love to,
Like I decided to speak to this young lady tonight.
you gave her
decided
life.
to give life, and she received it because I felt the release.
Yeah.
So interesting. And you mean, Josh, I'm the Son? I'm
Yeah.
not Jesus.
No,
I'm not Jesus. What?
we're heirs, aren't we?
Wow, it says that, doesn't it? Wow. I'm being facetious now.
And we have the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
If I have the keys to the kingdom, that means I can go into the kingdom anytime I choose.
Doesn't it? You would think that's what it would mean, isn't it? Oh, you can't get to the kingdom until it comes down here.
No,
Until
I
Jesus
have the
comes back
keys.
for
I
me.
can go in anytime I choose.
I thought we had to wait for Jesus to come back and the kingdom to come here from the
No,
sky.
it's already inside of you, and he's already there. Love already
Oh,
exists.
he did say it was inside of us. Wow. Well, why don't they preach that?
Because they don't want you knowing these things. If they actually preach the things that there wouldn't be a church.
Well, I've heard them say that the kingdom is in you, that Jesus said that. You imagine it's because they don't actually believe it?
No, they don't.
Wow.
If they actually preach the things Jesus preached, there would be no church. No one would ever go to the building to give money.
Why would you if you know that you have your Father already within you? That's why I don't need to go to a building, people. That's why we were just talking about. I ain't got to go refill up on nothing. I'm overflowing here, man. Let me tell you something. Funds were cramped. All right, I'm going to go give this little testimony. Funds were cramped. And coming to Thanksgiving, listen, are we going to be able to spend that much money on one meal? Probably not. That's what it was coming down to. Okay. I just moved into a new apartment not too long ago. We're getting things established. Listen, I'm telling you, the good things are about to start manifesting in my life, and they already are. But check this. I said to a lady that asked, well, what are you guys going to do about Thanksgiving? And I said, the Father will provide.
Yep.
My Father will provide. Now, somebody, a religious person in the room, got angry. Like, you're saying I never contribute. You're saying I never help out. I don't do my part. From me saying, and this is a religious person, all I said was, my Father will provide. What's happened, dude? We ended up with 2 turkeys and all the stuff for Thanksgiving, right?
And you had to turn one away.
And then another turkey came to the door, a big old turkey. And my sister said, "Oh no, we already fine. We got a couple. Thank you, though." And then the next day, this morning, somebody comes over, pays my sister back a loan that she given them, and said, "Hey, listen, I got another turkey from work. My mom has 2 of them already. You guys need a turkey? You can't get rid of the turkeys, people. They're flying in like geese. All right, they're flocking in like geese.
Right.
That's the abundance, right? That's the overflowing. Life and life more abundant.
Yep.
Dude, there's turkeys abundance all over here. Abundance of turkeys everywhere. And it seems like that's a small thing, people. You know, it's a turkey. It's for Thanksgiving, whatever. But that's truth, man. And that's just a small manifestation of believing in the love in you, right?
Yeah.
I knew when I said my Father will provide, I meant my Father will provide. Love will find a way. Isn't there a song? Love will find a way.
Yeah.
This is the truth, right? Love will find it'll make a way when there is no way, right?
It will make
many
a
times
way
you
where
heard
there
that?
is no way. Yep.
How many times you heard that said behind the pulpit? And do they really believe it? Do they really believe it? I'm amped tonight, bro.
Yeah. I would say that. Yeah.
It's gonna be a 4-hour video.
The way you're going right now. So look, we just have all this stuff about the Father and the Son manifesting, and you're supposed to be manifesting the love that's within you.
Yep.
And what's the next verse? Furthermore, the Father judges no one. Love judges no one.
Ouch.
Love cannot judge anyone, but has assigned all judgment to the Son. Who's the Son? You. The love that's in you.
And are you going to judge yourself?
Are you going to judge people at all? Well, if you're loved like your Father, you're not going to judge either. Because you only do what you see your Father do. Love.
Yep.
It keeps no records of wrongs.
Jesus even said that too. He said, I only do what the Father does, what my Father does. I can only say what he tells me to say.
Yeah.
So if he says, I only do what the Father does, and the Father says, I'm love, I ain't judging the Son. You're the Son that has the ability to judge yourself. Who can judge you better than you anyway? Who beats you up better than anybody else can? You do. And you all know it. Ain't nobody can beat me up like I can beat myself up back in the day. And I don't do it at all. I love me some me. And if I do something against love, because listen, this flesh will still fight you. The soul will still fight you. It don't want to die. It don't want to be rejected. And it'll try to come back at you. But I forgive myself. Listen, forgive yourself.
So, furthermore, the Father judged no one, but has assigned all judgment to the Son, which the Son is love also. So it judges no one. So that all may honor the Son, just as they honor the Father.
Mm-hmm. So
who receives the honor?
At the end of it, love.
Jesus said he receives no honor. The man, Jesus said, I receive no honor.
Talking about the flesh, you shouldn't be honoring the flesh because he said the flesh counts for nothing anyway.
Yep. It receives no honor. Only the love that was inside of him receives all honor.
Mm-hmm.
Just as they honor the Father.
So love. You as the Son, you honor the love in you and thus honor the Father because he is love.
And other people honor us all the time. How many times we got to say that to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't honor me, just honor the Father, which is what Jesus said himself.
Yeah. There's a lot of thank you. Listen, the young ladies, they were both here. There was a couple of them here.
I get it all the time when I talk to people.
Yeah. She said as she left the door, the one that was having the trouble.
And I could tell, I was like, don't honor me, just honor my Father.
Yeah.
which
They all-
it
they all-
is the Son, but I don't want them thinking that they're honoring a man, the physical person. No,
Yeah.
you're honoring the Spirit, the
Mhm.
one that's giving you real life.
Those girls all left today. My niece and two girls that she brought. The one having a lot of trouble. I believe the other girl received two. I believe my niece received two. I really do. And they all walked out. And then the one girl that was struggling, that needed to talk, she opens the door back up and she said, "Hey, and thank you. Really, thank you."
Mhm.
I said, "It ain't about me. It's love. It's love. And it's in you,
Yep.
you know?" And it's so good. So good.
So
Got any more scriptural words?
whoever does not honor the Son, love, does not honor the Father who sent him.
Love. Love. Yeah.
And then verse 24, truly, truly, I
If you're
tell
all-
you, whoever hears my words and
Mhm.
believes him who sent me, well, who sent the Son? The Father did, the love did,
Mhm.
has eternal life.
Wow.
Point blank, period. End of story. You believe
And
the
that's-
words that you hear from love,
Mhm.
and you believe the love that sent the person to tell you these things that you can physically see,
Mhm.
you have eternal life.
And that was before any crucifixion of any man.
And you will not be judged, but have crossed over from death to life.
From the soul aspect of you to the spirit, the
Yes.
kingdom.
And the soul aspect of you is all the negativity and nonsense that you believe.
Yep. That you're taught to believe.
That is from the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Mhm.
You believing you know what's right and wrong.
It is that knowledge, and you talk about in where it talks about the aspects and the characteristics of love of the Father
Yep.
in you. At the end, it said, when you come into the perfect love, you have all these things, these characteristics. When you came into the kingdom, prophecy will cease, tongues will cease, and knowledge
Will pass
you won't
away.
have- it'll pass away. You won't have the knowledge of good and evil that
No,
this
you
soul
won't
has
have that
learned.
anymore. You'll have truth. You'll have love.
Yep.
You'll have
You,
what really counts in this life. We hear it
Yeah.
all the time. We've never heard it our whole lives. Love will conquer all. It actually does.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, if people would realize, they say, "Oh, God is love. God is love. God is love. God, Jesus is all about Jesus loves you. Jesus loves." It ain't about the man. It was the Father in him, and he knew that.
It was
He told you
yes,
that
it was
all
the
the
spirit
time.
that was inside of him.
If anybody realized the power of love in each and every one of us, good grief, dude. The amazing life that we could all live here together as one, like the actual body. Wow. The actual body as one. If you knew love. Does love know you guys tonight? Does love know you? How does love know you? When you find out who love is within you. That's how you become known.
Yep. And it starts by growing the love inside of you and denouncing the negative emotions that you have that keep you trapped
Yeah.
in the knowledge of good and evil.
Yep.
Because anything that's fear, anxiety, which are the two biggest things, fear being the biggest.
Yeah.
If you're fearful of anything, that is from the knowledge of good and evil.
And
It
fears
is
of the
not
devil.
love.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to denounce. You have to denounce those things. Anything that
Mhm.
makes you fearful, anything that comes from a place of fear, anxiety, any of those things.
Yeah.
Okay, you're depressed. Okay. Denounce it.
Mhm.
Stop believing that you're depressed.
Cast it off. Yeah.
Denounce it.
Yeah.
Start growing the love inside of you. Start telling yourself that you're love and you're not these labels that someone put on you.
You're ashamed. Cast it off.
Guilt, condemnation.
Cast it off.
All of
Mhm.
it. These are all
Yeah.
lies. You have perfect love inside of you.
Yeah,
You have
if
the
can
love that
think of-
conquers all inside of you.
conquers all.
All, everything.
Every negative thing that you could ever think about yourself or somebody else conquers it all. I don't care how bad you have been abused, how bad you've been hurt, how bad
I
people
don't-
have talked to you.
I don't care if you're the abuser
Exactly.
and you want to get out of that cycle and
Yeah.
you don't know how to get out of it.
Die
I don't
to it.
care if you're someone who is perpetuating a persona of something that you're not.
Yep.
And you've been living a fake life your whole life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have love inside of you. You can cast that life off of you and be who
Yeah.
you truly are.
Absolutely. That's a good word. Yeah. A lot of people live in lives that ain't really them. And they live it because they feel like people want them living that life.
Because they don't believe they won't be accepted the other way.
Yeah. You're talking about people's sexuality now. That's a big part of people living false lives. They feel like if they come out about who they feel they truly are within themselves, that friends and family ain't going to accept them. And in a lot of cases, they won't because people aren't in love. But love would accept you. Love just loves.
Love accepts
Right?
everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly how to. It actually preserves you exactly how you are.
Yeah. Now, you were talking about stuff earlier about the things, how do we start towards our destiny? Well, you start thinking about stuff you were talking about. You start, looking at certain things and like, okay, I'm going to do this, and you start working towards it. I had a problem with that, man. I thought forever because of testing at school and different things that I'm supposed to be into computers, into IT work, into computer programming, this and that. From a little kid, based upon tests, when computers first hit the schools, when we first got computers and all, to where it was accessible to everybody, all the kids in grade school, taking tests there, taking tests in middle school, colleges coming to talk to you in college or in high school, and taking tests for them. Everybody I ever talked to, listen, you're perfect for computers. That's just the way your mind works, right? Based on tests, scores, man-made things, right?
Yeah,
Man
mine
made
always told me I was
aptitude
going to be a cookbook writer.
There you go. Have you been a cookbook writer, Josh?
No.
Literally every aptitude test I ever took, computers. What I go to college for? Computers. Josh, have I ever worked in computers? Not a day.
No.
Not a day.
No.
Could cared less about it. While I was in college, I figured out I don't even like this. I finished because I didn't want to quit. I don't want to be a quitter. I like to finish what I start. I just don't start stuff. That was always my problem. I didn't start anything. Too afraid. But if I did start something, I wanted to finish. So I finished. What did I end up with? I ended up with a big fat loan and did nothing with it. You can't live for what people tell you you are.
No.
You got to know who you are. You got to find the love, the Father in you. Then you can be who you're supposed to be. Then you can find out what you're supposed to do in this life. And you're going to love it. Do what you are supposed to be doing, what your heart's truly passionate about, what the Father is loving you wants you to do, and you're going to love every second of what you
Or
do.
here's even the crazier thing, right?
Hmm.
You can manifest whatever reality you want. You have the freedom and liberty in the kingdom, in love, to manifest the things in life that love wants to manifest. Whatever
I want
makes
to
you
be.
happy. Because we know the job you're going to, you hate.
Yes,
Now once you're
most
in
people.
love, that job that you hate, you no longer hate it.
No,
It might not be what
it's,
you want to be doing, but you no longer hate the job
you don't hate the act of going to work. Yeah,
in doing that.
yeah,
But at some point, you're going to start getting to the point where you want to start manifesting things.
yeah. I want to be a champion of karate.
Karate, yes.
Not
The
really.
question mark.
Might be cool.
Oh yeah.
There it is. You showed it right now. I already know.
Yes, sir.
Bring it back
This
to the start of the
This is
day.
my favorite wrestler right now. I'm telling you.
See how I tied all this in back to the beginning? You see how I did that?
So John 3:4. Look at this. I really like the ending of this verse.
All right.
For the one whom God has sent speaking the words of God, for God gives the Spirit without limit.
Mm-hmm.
So, how much manifestation can you do in love?
As much as you want without limit.
Without limit.
Limitless.
Whatever
Limitless.
you want to manifest can be manifested in this life.
So, man, powerful. Dude, after this teaching.
And the biggest problem with the church is that they believe that only Jesus can manifest things.
Yeah.
No.
Well, only
are the
through
people.
his name. Yeah.
See, that's the thing too. They don't even believe the beginning of the book where it says that when we were created and cut from the Elohim, that we were the rulers of this earth. It wasn't Yahweh. It wasn't any god. It wasn't any of the 72 gods. No.
Yeah.
It was us.
Yep.
We ruled this earth. We ruled over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air. We were the ones sitting here to rule this plane of existence, not a God that's supposedly above us. We were the ones doing it.
Not till all of a sudden Israel got
and then
Yahweh
now all of a
giving them
sudden
laws.
there's this external God and he's ruling us on this plane of existence. No, that is the lie. That is Satan casting his throne above us, saying that he's the only God. Nonsense.
Yep.
We all are gods. We all make up love. We all make up the Father in this existence.
That's what being part of the body is. The body of love. Love, the body of love. We all have a portion of the Father, so what's that make us? If my spirit is eternal,
and that
what's
portion
that
is
me?
100%. It's just like a cell in your body. It has all the makeup of the Father within it, whatever portion it is. It's limitless.
Yeah, every cell in your body has the same DNA. It all has different jobs depending on where it's at in the body, right? Just like us, we all have different purposes, different things that we're directed to, right? As part of the full body of the Father, of love. But that each cell has that same DNA, and that's the way with us. Every one of us in the body of love has the Father.
Yep.
It even comes down to it's the same thing as this physical body's structure. Points directly to the Father and how the setup is in the Spirit. It's not hard. If you hear the words we're saying, this isn't far-fetched talk.
No, it's not at all.
This isn't hard to see. If you can dig past the teachings that you've been drilled into your head, a lot of people that hear this, drilled into your head every Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. I, for a long time, ended up drugged to church as a kid.
7 days a
Drugged?
week.
Did I just say drugged to church?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a
That's probably why you
statement.
started taking drugs, because you kept going to church.
Could be. Could be. But no, I was drugged to church every day of the week when I was a kid for a long time.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's beat into your head. If you could just get past those thoughts, have some critical thought. Have some thought of your own for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Not about what you've been taught. Shed all the teachings just for a second. You're not going to go to hell because you think outside the doctrine for a second. Trust me, not going to happen. Think for yourself. Think critically. It's critical thought. What are we saying? Is it far-fetched? No, because it's truth. And you feel it inside. If you got to this point in this video, you know the things we're saying are truth. You know it. You know it. And if you don't, put it on the shelf. And if you're angry and you just don't want to believe it, that's because you just don't want to believe it. You're still indoctrinated. You can't handle it. And that's okay. We still love you. We still love you.
So, the Father loves the Son and has placed everything in his hands. Everything's in your hands in that little camera. All you people looking in here.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever believes the Son, whoever believes in love, has eternal life. But whoever rejects love will not see life, for God's wrath remains on him. The God that's here, this is referring to, is Yahweh's.
Yep.
The devil. His wrath remains on you because you've given him your authority to be your judge and ruler.
You refuse to come into the kingdom, so you're going to receive what you asked for. Yep.
And we know this because the Father judges no one. You, the Son, who does what the Father does, judges no one. So the God that this is referring to here is the God of the Old Testament, Yahweh.
That loves punishing people.
And he's the one that rules over you. He's the one you gave your authority, kingship, power to in this realm. Because you were supposed to be the ruler of this realm. But you've given up your authority and power to someone else, some other entity. Now your judgment will come at the hands of him. Because you've given him that. You've given it to him.
Good word.
Yeah, I think we already got that verse 2. All right, so the last one is going to be this one in Philippians that you were talking about earlier. Finally, brothers and sisters. See? It's even got a closing on it.
Finally,
brothers and sisters. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things.
well, those are things of love, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think on the things of love. Instead of dwelling on the negatives of the soul, your desperation, your anxieties, your hurts, your shames, your guilts, think on the admirable things, the things that Josh just listed, the things of love. Think on those things. It's going to be a lot easier to find yourself into the kingdom if you're thinking about the things of love than if you're thinking of the things of this world has put on you. Yeah.
So how do you manifest, John? You speak from love
Yep.
the things out of you.
The words are spirit. You must speak these things.
Yeah.
You must speak it. If you speak negative and you speak things, hurtful things about yourself or somebody else, you're calling those things into existence. You're calling what is not as though it were. Right?
Yep.
And if you keep calling things that are not as though they were, they will manifest into that.
Yep.
Right? You keep speaking negative about yourself, you're doing like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's gonna
On
manifest.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just the way it is. You got to speak them. I was telling somebody tonight, if you want to release those hurts, you got to say it.
Out.
You got to speak them out. Don't hide the situations that you went through that were hurtful. Don't hide those from other people. You can share those with other people. Why? Because not only are you bringing healing to them, because they can see that somebody else went through this and they made it through, but also you're going to release all that residual hurt that you kept concealed within you, that you're hanging on to. By speaking that out, you're releasing it. You're defeating it. Because the words is spirit and the spirit is life. You speak those hurts out and you're creating life.
You know what the crazy thing is?
Ready. What?
I just got this.
All right.
The Bible where it talks about confess your sins one to another.
Yep. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
When you're
Ooh,
speaking those things,
mm-hmm.
what you're supposed to be speaking
Mm-hmm.
is how you overcame those emotional things that bound you. It's not talking about the physical nonsense that people call sin.
No, sins. Listen, shame, guilt.
Those
hurt,
are the sins.
These are all
because you're
sins
believing
against love.
those things
And
about yourself.
They're sins against love. Those things are sins against love.
Well, they war against love.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
So that right there, when it talks about confess your sins one to another,
yeah,
that's what we've been doing in these videos. We've been telling people the things that we have went through and have overcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guilt, the shame, the condemnation, the nonsense of the church, religion itself.
Yeah.
That's the sin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's corrupted. That's what's wrong. That's what misses the mark.
Yep. Everything that's against love, that's the sins. Everything that's against love that affected you, you made it through. Now you got to tell others and confess that to others.
On how you made it through.
Yeah. And that's going to bring healing to them. That's going to bring healing to them.
It's not, I went out and stole a candy bar. Well, how the hell did that help anybody?
This isn't telling people and giving people ammo to go gossip about you with.
Right?
That's what a lot of people
between
think.
You and your father.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he doesn't remember those things anyway. He remembers no records of wrong. So why would he want you to go and confess something to someone that they can hold over you? That's a lie.
Person. Yeah, so another
That's how the
person
church also keeps you trapped, because they know the things you've done. So then they use those things against you. Because as soon as you leave the church for whatever reason, they're telling the whole church, well, they done da-da-da-da-da. Because I guess Jesus told them to do that too, right?
Yep. And you tell me preachers don't gossip. You tell me for a second preachers don't gossip. Listen, I know a lot of preachers. I've heard preachers all over the place talk from one member of the church about another member of the church. All the time. Listen, it's ridiculous. I used to be guilty of that. Come on. I used to be guilty of it. Mm-hmm. I ain't just tattletelling here. I was guilty too. I ain't no longer guilty because I wouldn't hold anything over myself and again. Do people know stuff about me I used to not want to get out. I could care less now.
You care less.
Somebody knows something about me, let it out. I don't care. It ain't me no more.
Nope. It never was you. That's the reality. It
That's
never
the
was
key.
you.
That's the key part. That's key. Yeah. Well, dude, this has been great. This has been, man. I wish we could put this on TV, like for real.
Because it's karate. It's karate.
It's karate, not karate. Karate. Got to emphasize.
No, it's Tay.
Yeah, tay.
Yeah, you said K.
Karate.
There you
It
go.
was a T.
No, you
Yeah.
said K earlier.
Karate.
Yeah, that's what you said earlier.
Karaoke. Karaoke.
But
That's
anyway,
silly.
like, comment, subscribe.
We love
Click that
you.
notification bell. Share the
Leave
video.
comment. Yeah, share for goodness sakes, share. This is a good one.
We appreciate all the people sharing our videos. We know there's some
Yeah.
of you out there sharing our
Oh,
stuff, and we appreciate
yeah,
that 100.
absolutely, absolutely. That's great. We love your comments. Continue to comment. Man, really hit it home with the people that sharing this. Really go deep on this one. Share it on there. I feel real good about. This is all about love, and there ain't nothing better to talk about. Ain't nothing better to talk about. I'm good.
Unlocking secrets of the universe.
Welcome to the Last Awakening podcast.
Oh no, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost it all. Oh no, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost control. Welcome to the awakening.
And as always, do the will of your Father.